No. Eric, man, I'm not doing it anymore. No, I told you I only wanted to do one. Stop! Get your hands off me! Stop! I am not doing another one. Telling you another story, apparently. I've decided that one wasn't enough. And, I fell out there, and I was trying to run away, and I guess I'm going to tell you another story. Red hand, I thought that was good enough. Anyway, I will tell you a story. The story I'm going to read to you now. And I thought, I'll read you another story. I'm willing to do that. I am willing to. Let's see. The same book by Christopher Fraser. I'll read this one. The Fisherman and His Congregation. Faithful pastor who tried hard to keep his work. He was a faithful pastor, he was. Tried to keep his work, his family life balanced, loved to fish on his day off. Strolled to the lake, and the fresh air made him forget the weight and the worry of his little small congregation. Though he loved to fish, he rarely caught anything. One beautiful Monday morning, he baited his hook, he cast it far out into the lake. Immediately, he felt a strong tug, reeled in this enormous fish. Before he could take a hook out, the fish looked at him and said, "Pray, let me live, good sir. I'm really an enchanted man, formerly known as a prince. I only appear to be a northern pike. Put me back in the water. Let me go." Well, the pastor said, "I could never hurt a talking fish. Swim away in peace." So he let the fish. At the board meeting the next day, the pastor said, "What a grand fish I caught yesterday." He said it was an enchanted prince. "What'd you do with him?" asked the head of the board. "I threw him back," replied the pastor. "You didn't ask anything from him?" "No, why should I ask anything from that fish?" "Well," groaned one of the deacons, "we worship in this hovel of a church with leaky pipes and a hissing radiator. Our nursery's musty. We don't have any kitchen to speak of. Our songbooks are falling apart. You go back and you tell that fish that we want a beautiful sanctuary with some new hymnals." The pastor did not like that idea, but he was terrified of the leadership of the church. So he stood at the water's edge and called, "Oh, fish that I caught, I'm in the water that's hot. There's none in the nation like my congregation that sends me to beg of thee." The fish came swimming. He said, "What does your congregation want?" They said, "I should have asked you for a new sanctuary. And if you could spare them, then some nice new hymnals to replace the old ones." "But back to the church," said the fish. "They are in the sanctuary already." When he returned, he saw a huge stained glass window, a fountain flowing from the baptistry, and sparkling red hymnals in the racks on the back of each cushioned pew. Everyone was pleased for a solid week. After the service the next Sunday, the pastor was greeting people with a member. When a member whispered in his ear, he said, "The sermons that you give are not very seeker friendly." "Well, what would you have me to do about it?" asked the pastor. "Well, you go back to that fish and you ask him for a new computer with some new software and complete pastoral stories and illustrations for the unchurched." Well, he hated asking the fish for another favor, so the pastor went back. He called out to the water, "Oh, fish that I caught, I'm in water that's hot. There are constant frustrations with my illustrations, so they want to see me again to thee. What is it this time?" asked the fish. "I need to be more seeker-friendly so that we might bring in more unchurched into the services," said the pastor. "Could you possibly spare a few multimedia aids that I might bring a technique that's more up to speed for these folks?" Following Sunday, the pastor's message was 15 minutes to an eternal relationship. The sermon was well received because it was filled with stories, illustrations, and pop culture allusions. And of course, it lasted only 15 minutes. All went well until Wednesday night when several urgent personal needs were brought to the pastor's attention. We need you to counsel these individuals and help them overcome their problems. One elder said, how can I spend time with my seeker-friendly message yet get the church's administrative work done, be a good husband and father, still counsel all these by myself? Poor pastor asked. Well, we'll send you to a men's conference next year with thousands of others who are in their warrior stage of life, said the elder. For right now, go tell the fish to make you a good counselor. The fish was waiting on the edge of the water with a spin on his chin. Back so soon, he said. The fish was waiting. Yep, my church wants my total commitment to counseling our members. The pastor said, my days are filled with message preparation, administrative chores, and visitation. Now they want me to be God's man with a family with perfect children and a Proverbs 31 wife. Have you ever been to a men's conference, said the fish? I'm supposed to go to one next year. Well, until then, I've provided you with a microfiche of plenty of all kinds of stuff with Windows counseling software, and your wife can now accompany you on the piano every time you sing. Pastor returned home, found these improvements. He also discovered that both his children suddenly are beautiful, had great smiles, recite numerous memory verses through the pearly white teeth. Alas, the congregation was still not happy. We want to be the number one church, said a member who was very into church growth statistics. My research shows that we could achieve a 300% growth spurt with a new gymnasium, professional musicians, lasers, a 5-state bus ministry, and a drive-in theater that broadcasts our service from a huge parking lot. Don't you think that's a bit much, said the pastor. We're having a hard time keeping track of all the people as it is now. Plus, how can we take an offering with all those people at the drive-in? But one of the members said, haven't you heard of inline skates? Perfect for our ministry teams. Though he tried, the pastor could not talk the church out of sending him to the fish again. Oh, fish in the lake, you may think me a flake to ask for a union with a skating communion. But they say we'll be number one. Let's guess, said the fish. Church growth, right? And I saw some of your members fishing yesterday in a stream north of here that's lined with willows. It's a very nice creek, but it's a mistake to make it run through your particular church setting. I wish I could convince them otherwise, said the pastor. So the fish gave him all that he asked for, and the church became number one in the entire kingdom. Articles were published about it in the major news magazines, but with all their success, the people of the congregation couldn't sleep for thinking what they could do next. A group of concerned members gathered one morning for breakfast, decided to ask for a king to be appointed from the church who would have absolute rule. Can't we be content with being number one, said the pastor. We had 25,000 people last weekend. But the members would not relent. As he approached the lake, black clouds gathered and thunder roared overhead. Lightning flashed and the fish appeared on the water. The pastor trembled before him. They want a king, said the pastor. A king, said the fish. You go back to them and rejoice, because they've needed this all along. When the pastor returned, he was astonished. The stained glass was gone, the buses, the parking lot, the theater screen, the gymnasium, and most of the people were gone too. In their replace, restored it back to its original condition, was their little church. Today, the congregation worships there in humility. Every time they sing from their battered hymnals or hear the leaky radiator clang, they thank the true King for their pastor and promise not to ask so much of him every day. God bless you.